Hi, my name is Tugce Tari-Roth, and I have another guest today, and his name is Hkun Tun. Hi.
Hello.
How are you? Good. Can you please tell me about a little bit about yourself? Where are you from, and how old you are, if I may ask?
Okay, yes. So I'm originally from Burma. It was in Southeast Asia. And then now I live in United States for like 20 years now. And
Okay.
I'm 46 years old.
Okay. Very nice. And can you please tell me about your piano playing background?
Oh, sure. So I started late. So first I had no plan. So I was a kind of competitive swimmer during my high school year. And then in 1998 we have a massive a demonstration from the whole general population, and the military government they killed like 1,000 of people and they shut down everything. So my school was closed for 1 year and I can't even go to the swimming pool. Then I started playing piano with a teacher for 2.5 years.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's when you started to play piano. Very interesting. And
Yes.
you've been playing ever since, right?
No, actually, at first I played like I said, for 2.5 years with a teacher, and then at that time it was difficult to progress in my country because it was very isolated. Just imagine North Korea. So in order to get them, even for the music sheet, you either need to go to neighboring countries like in Singapore or Thailand to buy it. And then luckily, my mother works for the U.S. embassy, so her boss, bought some. But still, it's very difficult. So after I hit the wall, I kind of stop. Another thing is at that time I'm also joining the medical school anyway, so I don't have time. So I stopped for more than 20 years, and then I bought this like a small grand piano and I started playing again in 2016.
Okay. And when did you move to US, did you say?
Oh, oh in 2000, yeah, 2001.
2001.
Year 2001, yes.
Did you get your degree in US?
No. Yes and no, yes. So I did some master degree in a public health, but at that time my goal was to join a residency and become a physician. So luckily I was able to do both. So at that time, I have no place, no time to play piano. And then, I can carry the piano all the way, all across the country. So, I started late.
Okay. And how many hours can you practice per day, or how many minutes even?
Yes, that depends because, my schedule is kind of a little bit unusual. So I walk 7 days in a row from, let's say, Saturday to Friday. So on those weeks, it's pretty tough. I need to stay in the hospital for long hours. So on those days, I can barely play, maybe like a half an hour in the morning or something like that. And then when I'm off, of course, I can play more. Then I play 2-3 hours on my off week. But still, I need to adjust because if I don't play anything at all, then by 7 days of work finished, and I'm pretty rusty.
Okay, of course. Yeah, I can understand that. And is this your first time doing a competition?
Yes, that is my first time. Yes,
Okay.
with a competition.
How did
Yes.
you find out about the competition?
Yes, it's kind of funny. It's just pop up in the Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So there was some kind of piano interest group. I think that was from Clyburn. So first, I wasn't even joining. I thought that's only for the kind of people who previously, I mean, participate in that famous competition. But somehow at that time I was kind of curious, so I just clicked and I was able to go in, and then I saw the advertisement from Coup, and then that started.
Okay, very nice. So basically, a typical day for you is that you go to work. Some days you have very, very long shifts, and then you come home, you just probably just want to go to bed. And then on other days where you have a chance to practice on the weekends, probably, or any days that you don't have really long shifts, you just sit down and practice a couple of hours or so, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
When you sit and practice, you have a teacher now, correct? So you prepare
Uh,
your teacher, or do you just play and do things on your own?
Initially, I was playing on my own for a little over a year. It's more like a year and a half. But luckily, at that time, I was accepted to perform in a kind of piano festival. So I went there and I met more amateur pianists, and I got a lot of help from there. And then after that, one of my friends even offered me, "Oh, why don't you come to my house and you can have lesson." And then I started with a teacher from 2017, like in the middle of the year until like a very early this year. But now with COVID, I can see my teachers since like a March.
Right. Well, some teachers continue to do live lessons, online lessons.
Yes, that's correct. Yep. So like but again, he is not into it. So even at his university, like he's still kind of like a teaching, like his students, like I mean in person. So I cannot do that. Another thing is I don't want to put him at risk because I also go to the hospital, so I can bring the infection to anybody.
Yeah, that's well, yeah, that's responsible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. But it's kind of funny. So first I thought like, okay, so I would just like I practice and practice more, and when I see my teacher again, maybe we can go over. But now like it's a long time, so I think about okay, by joining the competition, maybe like I have more incentive to like polish up more on some pieces like I learned during the summer. And then after I enroll, and then I gonna chicken out. Oh, then I think it's something wrong. Like just going to the competition without the teacher, like on most of the pieces. And then now I start also taking some online lesson, and I think it's helpful.
Yes, yes. And do you mostly play classical music, or do you also touch a little bit up with the different genres of music?
I would say mostly classical, but again, like if I see some interesting like arrangement and there's some kind of like nice arrangement for the pop, of course, like with the classical background. So those pieces like also play, and in a way, I think it's also good for my sight reading because I have very limited time, so I dedicate most of the time for new pieces, and I guess some like I like right now like I'm trying to play at the competition. And then, like, if I have some spare time, then just for side reading for my pleasure, like I also play some jazz and pop.
Yeah, it's also relaxing, I think, after work and
Yes, yes, that's correct.
I sight read new pieces sometimes just to relax a little bit.
Sure.
Not
Yes,
sit down to just to practice, you know. And
yes, you're right.
I wonder what are your frustrations when you sit down to practice?
Oh, well, right now, I think at least I'm in kind of like a right path because now I got more help and like, I mean, it's kind of amazing, like, compared to, let's say, like in early 90s. At that time, like, I have no internet, like, in my former country and like, like, resources, knows. But now everything is like easily available. You can buy most of the stuff online, watch, like, I mean, some good YouTube video. And then, like, I mean, of course, like right now I live in like Dallas, like a metro area. So there are also a lot of options for teachers as well. So in a way, like I feel like I'm very fortunate.
Mm. But my question was actually more about the practicing time. So when you sit down to practice, what is really difficult to do? Is it memorization? Is it technical parts? Is it the finger numbers or expression or anything like that? So I was asking about the musical components of playing the piano.
I see.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think like in general, reading is not a problem, but still like it is good to have a teacher, like somebody more experienced. So sometimes like I did some silly mistake, like, let's say like playing like D sharp instead of D natural, stuff like that. Then somebody can pick it up like right away. And then like of course like like you said, I think you also discussed with the other like I mean contestant like so like fingering is also very important. I learned it like so my teacher was also saying, oh, I'm not teaching you like about this particular piano piece. It's like I'm just telling you about the I mean, technique, like a fingering, pedaling, and stuff like that. So I also try to pay more attention now. So I would say less frustration. But like I mean, when I played first time when I was a teenager, it was tough. And at that time, I don't know. Like I'm basically kind of isolated from the rest of the world. So I don't even know that. Oh, Chopin etudes are kind of difficult. So I become kind of frustrated. Oh, I've try and like a little or no progress.
Yeah.
But now I know that okay, so like maybe give a little bit more time.
Yes. And what is it that you like about classical music when you perform or play classical music?
I think like I mean, in general, like I just want to make something out of like kind of like a good piano, and I like good piano. So I'm just trying to like I mean improve my techniques and like improve my interpretation, and then especially like a classical music, like I mean is more tricky, like there are kind of polyphonic lines and stuff. So like I mean it's kind of interesting to play.
Yeah, right. I think so too. It's not so simple, so it keeps us really interested, and then it's never
Yes.
ending. you can never play it perfectly, or you can, it's always very big challenge in my opinion. So that's really nice. So, do you have an ultimate goal for yourself to reach? Do you say at a certain age I want to play this piece, or I want to perform chamber music with a group, or anything like that that you have as a wish in your head?
Right now, I don't have that kind of a particular goal. But again, now, like I said, like before that, like, I mean, I'm completely ignorant. But now I know more. So at least, like, I can say that, oh, yeah, there are kind of some, like, I mean, syllabus, let's say, from ABRSM. So, like, maybe you first tackle, let's say, like, grade 8, and after that, associate level. And then you have some kind of guidance. And another thing is, like, Henley, what is the difficulty score? So, you know that. So right now, maybe I may stay away from tackling, like, level 9 until, like, I mean, I learn more, I have more experience and like that. So, like, I'm just enjoying for now.
Mhm. And
But
where,
like you said, like, I'm there a lot of piano pieces, so nobody can learn even for your lifetime. So
yeah,
you just need to pick and choose.
right. And where do you get your inspirations and motivation from? Do you just go on YouTube and watch other pianists, or do you follow podcasts or piano groups or anything like that, or magazines, even piano magazines that you get at home?
I don't subscribe a piano magazine, but, like, I mean, I usually follow Graham Finch from a pianist magazine from a YouTube, and I think, like, his I mean, teaching is kind of short, but I'm always up to the point, and then, like, it's pretty interesting, so I go for it. And then, like, I mean, I was also pretty impressed, like, when I was in Dallas, like, I go for some junior competition. So, like, I think the age limit is like a 19 is the oldest. Still, like, they pretty really good. They played really good, and they play, like, Tchaikovsky, like a Greg Chopin concerto and stuff like that. So, like, I was like, okay, well, why don't I buy the piano? So in a way, I'm kind of forcing myself to, like, do it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Then I started playing again in 2016.
Yeah. Okay, very nice. Is there anything that you would like to ask a concert pianist? Any questions that pops up in your head?
Oh, sure. So, like, I believe, like, you might have pretty large, like, a repertoire. So how do you go over things? Like, let's say you have, like, let's say a sort of like a 20 sonatas and concerto. So I don't think you have time to play all 20s, like, in a single day. So how do you do it? Like, do the rotation, or you kind of practice before a big concert or something like that?
Yeah, once you learn the piece, usually you have it under your fingers and you know the piece. So you
Yes.
need, let's say somebody says, "Hey, can you actually play these pieces?" And if you
Hmm.
already played and perform them, so they were
Yes.
ready. So you don't need so much time to prepare them. So if it's
I
a
see.
piece, it takes a while to prepare. Then if it's a very difficult
Uh-huh.
piece, it takes longer. If it's simpler, but it's really nice to actually work on a piece and then learn it and put it aside, and then
Yes.
retake it, and then relook at it, and then perform for friends and other people, and then put it
Hmm.
aside. That's how it gets really prepared.
I
So
see.
once you have it prepared, then in a week, in a matter of a week or 2 weeks, you can just get it back again under your fingers and re-perform it. So you just remember it basically.
I see. That's interesting.
But
Yep.
nobody's
Sure.
gonna come
Sure.
and ask to play 20 concertos at once, so it will always be one
Yeah.
concerto.
Yep.
It will be only one program, which is one program for a concert series.
I see.
Then it's
Hmm.
sort of doable. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe that's right. That's why you previously mentioned that, like, you need to learn it right, like, from the first time with the fingering and everything. Then it's kind of like, I mean, easier to kind of unpack later on, like, when you need to play it again. I think that's how my teacher was also doing. So my teacher was, like, pretty much giving me free hand, like, I mean, he never said, oh, you need to play this one next, and he just let me pick, like, unless, like, I pick some ridiculous piece, and then he might say, oh, no, you're not ready for this. So, like, the way I see is, like, yeah, he was looking at me, and I think, like, if you make this mistake, like, on this wrong notes, and, like, this fingering might be better. And after that, like, you see also play a while, and then it seemed like, everything's gonna unpack, and then he said, oh yeah, use fingering this like this, and then it will be much easier, and most of the time, like, that makes sense.
Right, right. I mean, the
Yeah.
right finger numbers is going to give you right results. You can't have
Yes.
like uh, it's like trying to go and run with the wrong shoe, so you can't get the good
Sure.
results. So you have to have the facility, the correct things, and that's not so simple sometimes. But once you get used to it, it takes a while to actually have these patterns in your mind and hand to find the best thing that works for you. There's a general way of doing things too. For example, if I have a repetitive note, then I repeat the.
Yes.
I try not to play with the same finger number, because then it
Yes.
gets very dry and not expressive. So I always change the fingers. So 1, 2, 3 to 2, 1, 2, 3, 1.
Yes.
So that kind of things, for example, that's these are some tips that you can use. Or trills, for example, not every trill is played with 2, 3. To make it more expressive, if it's a slow piece, to make it more expressive, you may choose a different finger numbers and so on. So you have to know sort of which patterns work well for which parts. Of course, there's also the component of everybody's hand is also a little bit different, so it's okay to change it. But generally speaking, some things just work in a way, and some things don't really provide that so well. For example, if I have an octave, then let's say the octave is played twice and then goes to the next octave, then of course I will do 5 and then 4, and then the next octave will be 5 again. So things like 5, 5, 5. That's not really so good. If I have a jump on my left hand, I will try to if the part the phrase allows it, I will try to have the finger last note, and then I will do the jump of 5. Then I have instead of 5, 5. You know, this kind of things. I mean, it's just a simple example of how to help it. You know, sort of do the setup in a good way that helps you express and play the best as possible. So that's the whole thing. Your numbers.
Thanks for your advice. Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Oh, I'd like to thank you and like a crew for like organizing this competition, and like this interview. I think that's also very helpful, because that's the only chance like we need to meet other contestants.
Yeah.
And then like of course like for us like I mean we have very limited like opportunity for kind of playing, and also like I mean to learn more. So in the future like I hope it will be going on like yearly or like every 2 years, something like that, or maybe even some master classes.
Yes. Actually, there will be a master class. I will hold class for the competitors.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will look at sort of what I see that generally speaking, all the competitors are doing in their playing, and then a master class that sort of addresses all the problem areas that generally speaking the whole group has.
Yes.
So,
sure.
Yeah. So I mean, we're going to keep you updated with that. So it will be one masterclass when everybody will log in. And if you can't log in, we probably will record it and maybe send a link to you. So we haven't finalized yet how we're going to do everything, but there will be a masterclass. Yes.
I say, oh, that would be nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You're very welcome. So, and one more question: is there anything that you wish that the WPTA competition had, or the organization, other than just we're trying to connect with other people? But is there anything else that you wish that would provide for you and the competitors?
No, like I already said, like I mean, we have been very appreciative of the opportunities, and of course, like I think like we should have more like a forum, like you previously mentioned, and like we should have more connection with like concert pianists, I mean, academics, professor like you guys, and then like we learn a lot from there. And I don't even know, I mean, it's not necessary for the like older people like amateur pianists. It can be from any student of any age, like once you hit, let's say, late like intermediate or advanced level, then we were playing similar pieces, and then like on the forum I also learned a lot. So before I started like my new piece, I usually do some research on a Facebook, I'm sorry, it's like YouTube, and then like from the internet, some interesting thesis and discussion in a forum. So I think that helps a lot. Believe it or not, like many of us, like we stumble at exactly the same place, like many pieces.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I will take initiative on things that everybody's sort of wishing, and that will be on my website, and you will
sure.
access to it afterwards. So we'll keep you posted.
Oh, sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for also accepting the interview. And we also enjoy talking with you. This is also very interesting for us to see from the other side how you also feel and how you want to do things and what are your wishes to accomplish. And this is also quite exciting for us. So thank you again participating and opening up to us. And I wish you good luck with the competition.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for your.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.